Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah. So it's been a really good year for our squash harvest, and our potato plants have finally died back, and now it's time to pull them back and see how they grow. And remember, we grow our potatoes in wood chips, we don't grow in a conventional way. So let's see how our potatoes get on in growing in mulch. So before I've even started getting stuck in, I can already see potatoes popping out. So let's take those as quick wins. So there's one there and there's one there. So let's have those as quick wins, and that's a nice size as well. MashaAllah. These potatoes have all got blight, and you can see them all dying back. So what I'm going to do is pull all these potatoes and we'll compost the potato stems. I've got no issue with composting potato stems. I mean, even when they're blight ridden, because remember, potatoes, blight survives on living matter. So you can see the wood chips that we've been stacking on, they've all been breaking down over the year, and this is why we do it. So as I mentioned before, when I put down the wood chips for the first time, this is the first year of my growing potatoes, or setting my garden up for the next 4 or 5 years, because I put down this few feet of wood chips, and then over the next 4 or 5 years these wood chips will break down, become the soil, and then I'll just move around the garden like this. So setting up a wood chip bed and then just keep going. I'll do a detailed video of my crop rotation method and what I follow with what in a separate video. But today, let's enjoy this potato harvest. And this is the good thing about growing in wood chips like this, is it's so easy. You're not sticking a fork in, you're not sticking anything in that's going to damage the potatoes. It's just coming in with your bare hands and just lifting away at what you're growing. Look at that. Really nice, clean potatoes as well. Oh, there's some white ones here. That's strange. Here we go, there's some good sized ones. Nice ones. Yeah, I mean, last year we got one that was shaped like a duck, and Zaki was chasing me around the garden with his duck shaped potato. So far, I mean, there's no big whoppers this year. They're all a good size, but no absolute gigantimo potatoes. Yet. I say yet. I'm not giving up yet. Never give up. You go on that side and you just start pulling the soil back with your hands and pulling out all the potatoes. Yeah, that's fine. Let her work where she's working. Pull, Khadija, do it the way I'm doing it. So you pull the soil, you know, the wood chips, to somewhere new, and then you know where you've picked from. Okay? Oh, there's a nice one, look.
Huh? I like that big one. Put them in your bucket.
My bucket's full, I need a new bucket.
Go find a new bucket.
So last year, how many buckets did we do? I think we did 3, didn't we?
Ah, no, got soil in my shoe, got soil in my shoe.
So last year we did 3 buckets. Well, there's a good one. Yeah, we're getting to some good ones now. So the good thing about this method is you can plant so many more potatoes per square foot than you can with any other potatoes, and I always seem to get a whopping crop back from it. Oh, there we go, there's a nice one.
Oh, that's big.
There are my big ones. I always seem to get some whopping ones. Just as I said whopping, I get a nice one come up. Never let me down, does Desiree? Here.
One potato. Just like in our bucket,
Here, fill.
You didn't get those potatoes.
Okay, fill this one up with all your potatoes.
I found an addy. Should I put all of these in there? Why is that addy?
Because we put the bones in the compost, we don't mind. This is one way, if you're looking for ideas of getting kids involved in gardening, this is the way to do it. Yes, yeah, there's a
Oh, that's
potato.
not potatoes.
There's potato.
Found another one. I found a
Come on.
tiny one. Lucky baby one.
See,
Oh,
because
no, it looks like a normal potato. I was taking that.
okay, here, watch. There's more coming here
What,
now.
this one?
Watch. There's gonna be more coming here now. Okay, move out the way.
I do.
There's more there. Okay, there's more there.
Baby. Baby, Ducky, baby. Quick, get me from up and babysit. Good boy.
You need to go all the way to the soil. So you need to get all this.
Oh, Ducky.
So you need to get all these wood chips out all the way to the soil.
Look at this beetle. Beetle.
Oh, that's a cool beetle.
That's so shiny.
That's a really cool beetle. See, they
Let go.
eat pests. So that's the good thing about having wood chips and stuff. Doing lots of mulch because it makes environment for
Beetle.
predators.
Ducky's being scared of worms. Even I'm not scared of worms. I just think they're gross.
Push it that way, push the soil that way, and then we know which side we've done. Okay?
Oh, potato.
Yeah, who's getting that?
Found it. Found it. Found one. Boy, I'm dying. Oh, here's some.
So sometimes you do end up with a bit of scab on the potatoes. Just peel that a bit thick, get rid of that, and you can eat the rest of it. So these are ones that aren't for storing, so don't try and store those ones. So this is underneath where I had my gourds growing on top. So I had the gourds growing over the top of here, and I've had the potatoes growing underneath, so I'm not wasting space. Watch out.
There's a worm sticking out of the bucket. I'll get that. Will the worms eat potatoes?
There we go. There you go.
Dad, will the worm
Yeah,
go to
pull
glass?
over.
Can I go to glass?
That's it though, you get involved.
No.
There you go.
Ducky, potato, potato.
There's some good white ones here. Here you go.
Ducky here. Dad, don't shake my finger.
There's lots of good white ones here actually. Oh, there's some quite big ones.
Oh, here. Yeah, that's gonna can be purple. I think that. Ducky, look at this tiny one.
That's-
Dad,
yeah.
the Dragon Ball episodes available on Netflix.
I don't know, buddy.
I want to watch Dragon Ball. Dad, Ducky, tiny one.
And these white ones, these are ordinary
Ducky.
kitchen homegrown potatoes. Sorry, supermarket potatoes, they're not seed potatoes.
Dad. Oh. I got lots of stuff in my shoes. I only got one thing in my shoe, but I took it out and. Oh, potato. This is why I'm not incredibly fussy right now. Oh, here's another one.
Okay, have you done your side? So the main reason for pulling all the potatoes out like this in one go,
Are those potatoes?
yes, they are potatoes. Can you get a bucket? Is so that we can demonstrate to you the amount of potatoes that we can grow in the amount of space that we're growing in. But if you're going to store them, I mean these potatoes, because they're growing in wood chips the way we grow them, they're perfectly fine to just leave in the ground and just pick as you go. The best way of storing the potatoes is under the ground, so they don't get exposed to sun, so they don't go off, they don't go green. They won't get frost damage because they're protected under here. But these are absolutely beautiful colour as well. That's a really nice size one. That's a heavy one, that as well.
Yeah.
But they've all got blight and they've all gone. Oh, there's some good sized ones here. They've all got blight, and blight's a blight's a fungal disease that spreads by spores onto potatoes and tomatoes and kills the plants.
eat them if they have blight?
Are we still allowed to eat? You can still eat the potatoes if they've got blight, yeah? Absolutely you can. There's some good sized potatoes here, look. There's some really big ones. So it's time to give them the old way and see how we've got on. And the first bucket, these are all from, so these are from a bed that's about 1 metre by about 2 metres. So let's have a see how these are. So that's 6.2 kilos for that one. So we didn't grow many white potatoes this year. Mainly we grew white potatoes as first earlies, so we grew iron pilot as first earlies. They didn't do as good as we hoped, but these were the ones that were grown in the ground. So 3.8 kilos there. So there's 10 kilos so far. Let's see, give this bucket away. 6.5 kilos. So we've got 16.5 kilos so far. 7.2. 23.9 kilos so far. And the last one, let's see what we get to with this. 23.9. And we've got 9.9 kilos here. 33.8 kilos. That's not bad, that. I think that's better than last year so far. I mean, we didn't get the absolute whoppers that we got last year. We did get a couple of big ones. We did get some nice big ones here, but not the absolute ginormous ones that we normally get. So there are some good sized ones there, but they weren't as big as the ones that were last year. So overall, we grow these potatoes in a really intensive way. So that's why we can get a nice, big, heavy crop of potatoes. One of the reasons that I think they didn't get as big as they normally do get is because of the rain pattern. So we had a really dry April, and then it got really wet. Then we had a really wet season, and then it got really sunny and really dry again. And then it just poured down with rain, and the plants died back a lot earlier than they normally do. I mean, we wouldn't normally do this harvest for another couple of weeks. Last year we did them around the last week of September, and we've always done them towards the end of September, start of October. This year we're harvesting a lot earlier. We're harvesting at the end of August, the start of September, and that's why I think, because the plants died off a bit more, because the plants died off a little bit earlier, they got, blight's been so prolific this year. Everyone suffered with blight. Anyone who's grown outdoor tomatoes, outdoor potatoes has really suffered, and that's one of the reasons I think that's just set us back, that didn't allow the potatoes to swell the way they normally would do. Given the season that we've had and the weather that we've had this year, I think the potatoes have done better than we'd expect. I mean, how many bags of seed potatoes did I plant? I planted 6.5, I think 2.5. So 7 kilos of seed potatoes I planted, 7.5 kilos of seed potatoes I planted, and I've had more than that back in return. I've not been feeling well these last few days. I've had a bit of a cold going on, so a bit of comfort food tonight for me, so some nice chips. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe for regular updates. I also make videos on Patreon, so if you do want to support our channel, Patreon's probably the best way of supporting our channel. I'm going to go and enjoy my chips tonight. I'll see you on the next one. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.